Nope. So Nope is a film that immediately enticed my interest because it's a film made by Jordan Peele, in which his debut feature film was the critically acclaimed horror film Get Out, for which he won the Academy Award for Best Original Screenplay, which was then followed by the psychological horror film Us. So it is safe to say that Jordan Peele has become one of the fast-rising directors in recent memory. And so for his third feature film as director, we've got Nope, which in many ways for me left initial confusion as to what it was going to be after watching the trailer. Was it going to be a Western horror? Was it going to be a Western sci-fi? Or was it going to be a horror sci-fi? So Nope is set at a California horse ranch in which random objects begin to fall from the sky and results in the death of the family father. So it's up to siblings OJ and Emerald Haywood as they attempt to capture video evidence of a suspected unidentified flying object with the help of tech salesman Angel Torres and documentarian Antlers Holst. So we kind of get the picture that Nope is a somewhat alien invasion / UFO kind of story, while also at the same time displaying a sense of social commentary in the modern times. And the suspense in this film is absolutely crucial, and Jordan Peele deserves a huge amount of credit for that. It's something that we already know him very well for, and this one is no different. And this is where he's starting to show his own unique auteurist style, because it's clear that he loves creating original horror stories, and through the ways that he structures them and how he directs them through certain visual elements, it's starting to become a lot clearer now. And Peele collaborates once again with composer Michael Abels on the soundtrack, having previously done Get Out and Us. And while touching upon the soundtrack, that played such an integral part of the suspense of the story, especially throughout the nighttime sequences. And as you're watching those sequences alongside the music, it's like you're just immediately really hooked into what's going on, just waiting for something to just totally blow up and erupt. But I think the mysterious nature of the story and the ambiguity and the uncertainty makes it a whole lot scarier. And that's credit to Jordan Peele's approach to it and just the actual production of the film. In many ways, it reminded me a lot of War of the Worlds. However, I think the one thing that let it down for me was the fact that the actual reveal kind of deflated the tension. Because sometimes big revelations of things make things a whole lot more disturbing, but equally it's sometimes the mysterious things that we don't really see very often, and also the things with not much context around them, that makes things a whole lot scarier. And even though there were a lot of very disturbing moments where we didn't really see the actual thing causing it, it was just the things towards the end of the film where the reveal actually happened that kind of didn't really match the suspense and the tension of what was going on in the story. And that's where the story did feel a little bit rushed towards the end. And it didn't really go in the direction that I thought it was going to. And yet we saw it, and then boom, that was it. They knew exactly what to do. It was just convenience. So in that respect, I think that's where it was a slight disappointment. But I'm not taking anything away from Jordan Peele and what he did with the film and how he created suspense and tension throughout. And there were elements of how it was filmed that really were interesting, especially the cinematography, which was absolutely brilliant. And that obviously comes as no surprise. It really captured that haunting and mysterious atmosphere. But one thing I did pick up on while watching it was that the film is set on a ranch, which is obviously a very open area, and yet while watching it you felt trapped and you felt confined. And that ultimately shows for me that you've got to create suspense. It can't just happen within some kind of small environment or in, with someone there. It's about how you film it that creates that emotion. Now onto the actual narrative of the film. It's structured into chapters in which they kind of give us clues as to what the connection is to this mysterious being on this ranch. They're almost like riddles where they continuously just make us keep guessing until a crucial twist comes in. And from the films that we've seen from Jordan Peele so far, he always has this kind of idea within the stories that he has a core narrative and there's always a kind of contextual backdrop that invokes so many more themes and motifs. We saw some in Get Out, we saw a lot in Us, and we saw some here as well. Jordan Peele adds his own societal commentary in this film because it's about characters who are trying to capture footage of this UFO live on camera to then presumably post on social media and then follow on with sequel after sequel after sequel, or it'll just remain an independent project in which the whole idea of why this being exists and what happens afterwards just remains a mystery. Now onto the acting, and here we see Daniel Kaluuya in the leading role of Otis Haywood Jr., or simply known as OJ. And here he reunites with director Jordan Peele after his Oscar-nominated performance in Get Out. And one thing that surprised me about OJ's character was that there was very little dialogue, and Kaluuya's performance was particularly facial expressions and body language. Because I've always said myself, just because you don't speak much doesn't mean you're not delivering a good performance. And like I've said, most of this film is set at night, and you just hear particular natural sounds accompanied by the suspenseful music. So you don't always need this character who's just going to talk all the time. And Kaluuya's character just has a mixture of many different things because he just has certain levels of intelligence, especially when approaching this mysterious being, while also having this kind of American cowboy persona, but just done within the modern period. So he's a very westernised protagonist in many ways, but he just doesn't have the clothing or the attire to accompany it. And we also see a very eccentric performance from Keke Palmer, who plays Emerald Haywood, aka M. And I thought she was a character full of fresh air, and she just delivered this great performance, and I think her energy came along with a degree of sass and humour, while at the same time demonstrating a seriousness about her by helping her brother defeat this being. So overall, Nope is a film that has left me somewhat conflicted in some ways. On one hand, where the suspense was absolutely brilliant and the cinematography and the directing was absolutely brilliant, while on the other hand, the narrative structure and the pacing and just the overall message of what the film was trying to be was a little bit lackluster. And another part where Jordan Peele deserves a bit more credit in his approach to this film is that historically we've seen so many UFO/alien invasion stories, and just when we thought we'd seen all of them, he comes out with something like this. And I will just applaud how he, to a certain degree, found another gap in the woods. So is Nope a perfect film? Nope. But is it a good film? Yes, it is. So what did you think of Nope? Did you enjoy it? Did you not enjoy it? How do you think it compares to the other Jordan Peele films? Let me know in the comments below, and as always, if you did want to enjoy this video, then please hit the like button and subscribe for more, and have a notification bell tick so you're notified when I upload a new video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care, everybody.